Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to dig in with Draped in Gold. I'm Jack Farmer, being joined by the one, the only, I assume, maybe there's more, Flobo boys.
I love the shove off the ledge. Yo, Jack, can you believe it? 189 episodes of Draped in Gold. And of course, they're all, as we used to say, bangers after bangers after bangers.
Isn't it crazy we've done 189 episodes and not one of them was bad? Every one of them.
Never. I mean, again, we won awards. That one time.
Really good. We won an award back during. Hey, listen though, we won that award during the pandemic when everyone had a show.
Yeah,
and the competition was tough.
Yeah, or level, depending on how you look at it. But it doesn't matter, man. I'm here with you. Huge weekend, and of course, I'm actually back in town. I passed 36 hours. I was in St. Louis, so I'm glad to be home back in LA.
Oh, well, welcome back. Glad you're back home to the city of angels. Dylan Matthews back home here on Draped in Gold in the chat. We also got Danny C coming through. Appreciate you guys. Well, I'm not as happy as you, Flobo.
That's always the case. What's up this time?
I'm crabby and I'm grumpy.
Crabby Jack.
I had to wake up early today. Flobo. And, now, listen, it's a regular time for most people, but I need my beauty sleep. I had to wake up at the chilling hour of 6 a.m.
You're always up at 6. I text you at 6 a.m.
Today. the bone-chilling time of 6 a.m.
You don't work at the mines?
The sun barely cracking up over the horizon, Flobo. I'm like a reverse vampire. I needed all the sun up before I get out of bed. But here I was, and now I'm crabby for it, Flobo. I'm crabby.
Why are you crabby? Because you need a nappy? Is that what it is? You need some nap time?
I do need a nappy.
All right.
I need a good couch nap and a bad B-rated movie.
That's callback, y'all.
Yeah, Dylan says, Jack's hair just doesn't happen like that. It's true. It does not just happen like that. It takes a team of highly trained experts.
Hold on.
It's like Ocean's 11, but with hairspray and gel.
Can you tell people what time you usually get up? Because I don't think 6 a.m. is that early for you.
I usually crack my eyes open at about 7:45, and then I start
a bunch of crap.
I start to roll out of bed at 8 o'clock. And then I putz around for 30 minutes.
I'm actually pretty bad too. My alarm's at 5:30, but I lie in bed to 7. Like, am I doing anything better? I can't brag if I'm doing nothing for 90 minutes.
I putz around the house like that Pablo Escobar meme, where he's just standing around and just stare around for a few hours before I start my day at 1 p.m. But we got a busy show today, Flo.
Huge.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 big events this weekend because you know what? There's just never enough pro wrestling. I hope you didn't plan anything this weekend, Flobo, because it's wrestling weekend.
I totally plan. I work on Saturday. I got a date on Sunday. Like my whole weekend's shot. Sorry, wrestling. I have time for you. I'm kidding. It's going to be great, man.
A date with the WWE, I hope.
They always leave me on red, so I don't know.
Well, we're going to go ahead and kick things off, but this is going to be the Draped in Gold Preview Spectacular 2025 Gold Edition. So everyone have your pens out, get your predictions ready, because we're basically just talking predictions today. We'll talk a little bit about pro wrestling and stuff that happened, but you know what? I think we're just going to dive right in. Don't dig. Dive into Draped in Gold.
You modified the pun. I hate it.
I'm starting with AEW because we just finished AEW Dynamite. Lots of stuff happened. Danny C's head's in the right place already. Goldberg. And so we're going to talk about AEW. I do want to say, I know we don't really cover Collision a whole lot, but
how it moves every week. What time's air, Jack?
It's a moving target. You gotta keep your head on
a pop-up shop of wrestling every week. It's Wednesday, it's Thursday, it's Saturday. Okay, I'm sorry.
You got to keep your head on a swivel. You're like, I'm ready for you on Saturday. Boom! It's on Thursday.
It's like, what is going on here? Right. Yes, I don't watch Collision often, but we're done.
But I did want to say a couple things happened. One, Scorpio Sky returned. Very happy to see that. But also, if you guys are fans of really good pro wrestling tag team matches, Outrunners versus FTR was a good one. So I recommend checking it out. Let's get to this tag team championships as I segue effortlessly into the show that we're about to talk about. AEW All In tag team championships on the line. The Hurt Syndicate going up against Jet Speed and the Patriarchy. That's Lashley and Benjamin versus Knight and Bailey versus Cage and Wayne. Flobo, we saw a big rough up today. Big dust up is what I'm looking for.
Right.
On Dynamite tonight. Where's your head at with this one?
I am a bit concerned or confused because on paper, there's less matches for this one than usual AEW pay-per-views, especially All In being the biggest one. So I'm not sure how much time they're going to get, the question I have. But as it is right now, and I think we talked about this on past episodes, the Hurt Syndicate are on another level. Maybe to the detriment of the rest of the division. I can't see anyone taking them down unless they get sucker punched. So if there's a sanctioned match against them, then they're still going to be the favorites.
So I'm with you there. I do think that, and by the way, I appreciate Dylan, correct me here, what a kerfuffle it was. I do agree with you. I think that the Hurt Syndicate is pretty much unstoppable, which is why I think this is the opportunity for the Patriarchy to take the championships in this three-way. A sneaky win, I think, will happen here. And maybe not even the Hurt Syndicate taking the pin, maybe Jet Speed taking the pin. I think this is just the only way you can get the championships off of them, Flobo.
I'm with you 100% about that's the only way getting it off of them besides the sucker punch idea, which I think my idea was superior. But I do think Christian Cage can do a lot more on his own as lone and lonesome. So it would be a cool result, but I would love to have Christian do something else. Be like, you know what? I tried not to do focus on the things. For Jet Speed, they are tag team champ material. I just don't think it happens this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I think Christian Cage should be in the World Championship conversation, but this is where he is. So that's where I put him. Adam Cole, baby, versus my guy, Kyle Fletcher.
He's your guy now.
$1 million today on Dynamite, 301. He got the win today, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He got the win, but he has to face Adam Cole for the TNT Championship. Where's your head at as a Jack Farmer guy goes up against a Flobo Boyce guy?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I hate putting it that way because it looks like the Jack Farmer guy is going to win. And it's not Adam Cole's fault. Or is it? The TNT Championship sounds good. It sounds clean, but in a world with continental titles and international titles, we all plumb forgot about that TNT strap. In fact, some of my friends still think Jack Perry had the title. So I got to say, when it comes to momentum, it's all Protostar.
Yeah, it feels like he's destined for this championship. And I think that he's the right person to win because I think right now he's on a rocket ship. And I think that he's someone who's got he's eye-catching, and he's going to get the attention back on that championship. Eye-catching for a number of reasons. Even
that's debatable.
Head.
Yeah, I'm about to say, are you trying to make a pass at him?
He is a handsome drink of water, Flobo.
Hey, you're pretty eye-catching. Freedom, you up?
Kyle Fletcher is a frequent on Farmer's Market. He's always there. Big fan of his, and I like to think he's a fan of mine. Probably never heard of me, but I like to think that he's a fan of mine. So we have a tag team match. Swerve Strickland. I knew I wanted to say it, but I was like, I already used my baby.
Okay, fair enough.
No. You had to say it. I couldn't say it. I already used baby.
I remember at the old employer that you would get kind of miffed if someone said playa if it was an AEW tag team match. That's deep tech lore.
It is deep lore. Deep cut draped for episode 189.
Nice.
Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks, Matthew Jackson, Nicholas Jackson. If Ospreay and Strickland win, the Bucks are no longer EVPs, whereas if the Young Bucks win, no world championship shot for these other two, Ospreay and Strickland, for one whole year. Before I get your take on this one, Flobo, because I think there's a lot to pull here, I want to talk about today. I want to talk about all the stuff that we saw. Of course, there was a big throwdown at the end of the night, a big kerfuffle, a big dust up, a big what all the words we have for it. But then something happened. And that was Swerve Strickland rolls out and he destroys a limo. And I'm here to tell you, no matter how many times I see it, no matter where it happens, if it's a pro wrestling show and a car gets destroyed, I am here for it. I don't care if this was AEW. I wish Gunther ran out and stood on it and said, Goldberg! I absolutely love this. I love it when a car gets destroyed. I was happy. I got sent home with a smile. Did you have a happy ending after Dynamite?
I sure as heck did not. Here is somebody who doesn't have a sanctioned license operating heavy machinery. The authorities should have been on site. This is a travesty.
How is it a travesty?
I'm just saying.
Are you a buck?
He could have. I would never be a buck, but there's other ways of doing things, man. He could have walked out there. He could have a contract signed. He could have had a docu-sign. He could have talked it out, but no, he went to violence. Not even violence, heavy machinery-based violence. That right there is beyond the pale.
Flobo, I don't understand how you can sit there with a straight face and say anything negative about a vehicle being destroyed in pro wrestling. It's it doesn't matter who it is, and it doesn't matter how it happens. I mean, you could put a golf cart into a wood chipper, and I'm going to be like, this is the greatest segment in pro wrestling this week. Hands
that should
down.
be a ranking right there. Like the concrete, the McMahon's limo, the flipping that Stone Cold did. Like, it's a long line of cars being destroyed.
Concrete in the limo has to be the best, I think, because the way the windows broke out too. Though I do think Goldberg smashing Sid's car is up there just for the Sid Vicious yelling his name at the end of it.
That was acting, man. That's a thespian right there.
He felt it.
Or
Monge rolling through.
What's up?
Monge rolling through. Good to see you, Monge. Now, so you're against it. You're clearly a Young Buck fan.
No, I want them to
the
win.
Chat is calling you Flo Buck.
Okay, I'll take that.
Which I have to agree with. I think that you are the third Buck.
Okay, that I don't agree with.
Flobo Jackson.
Have you been to Rancho Cucamonga? It's not great. It's a Bakersfield of East.
It's the Bakersfield of California.
Yeah, it's a Bakersfield. I was in Riverside County. It's a Bakersfield of East. I was East LA. No. Of Riverside County or San Bernardino County.
So growing up with the Bucks, you know them very well.
No!
How are they gonna? You're supposed to be in the middle as they point to you.
I wish I had the muscles. No, listen, I don't.
Cody Rhodes said famously that he wanted to start, or the Bucks said famously they didn't want Cody Rhodes. They wanted their brother Flobo Boyce to help them start.
What quote was that?
That was a direct quote.
I've been booing these guys for a decade. Why would I? PWG, ROH, TNA, and the crowd I'm always booing.
It's because you're for the smart fans.
Okay, all right. And the smart fans know that they're going to lose this weekend. So,
so the Young Bucks are going to lose.
Yes, they should lose, because what does the EVP mean in 2025 on screen, man? Because we got Tony Khan, I guess, who's still the authority, even though he was wiped out twice, once by the Young Bucks and once by the Death Riders. But people still think of him as the owner of the show. Why do we have EVPs? Tell me.
Well, I believe to answer your question, what does it stand for in 2025? I believe it stands for Executive Vice President.
Listen, hey, I know you're the smart guy of the operation.
I don't think this is a smart guy operation.
That's why we're screwed. We got one award in 5 years of program. We don't do this right.
I agree with you. I think Swerve and Ospreay win, but I would not actually be shocked if the Young Bucks get the win here. Which part where he says
Rancho Cucamonga is a Tacoma of California.
Hey now. Who wins the women's?
You did disagree. All right.
Who wins the casino gauntlet for the women's side?
So our participants for sure are Megan Bain. Who is that?
I think it was everyone today. Megan Bain, Tekla, I think Tay Mello, I think.
Yeah.
It's probably really, I'd imagine it's anyone on the roster.
Yeah, I got to give it to Bain, man. I really feel like there was an opportunity that was closing about 3 months ago or 4 months ago. And I think now would be the time. You got it's like now or never. If she does not win this or give her an opportunity, she's going to be a flash in the pan thing we think about, like when we think about Mel. Remember Mel? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
don't be a Mel, man. Make sure Megan Bain wins this weekend.
Shots fired at Karl Malone.
And his shorts are too long for his time.
So you think Megan Bain wins it? My problem
Yeah.
with that is I agree, but she can't lose another championship shot. I think this is Thekla.
Yeah,
Thekla.
So-
Is I think she's got to win this because I got a feeling she's going to win it and she's going to come up short, which has been kind of historical how they have done it in the past, where a lot of people come in, they lose, and then they kind of build themselves back up.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. You're not wrong for a change, but I remind me on the NXT side, not to compare shows already, about Jordan Grace, right? Here's somebody who was great, has a bunch of losses. I do think something monumental has to happen in that division. I know we have the other women's match, which is also monumental just by who's in that one. This could really be a chance. Whoever wins this match, whether it's the other match, has a good opponent in the future of someone who's been talked about organically on the social media channels. It's a smart move. I'm going to go with Megan. I'm doubling down on Megan Bain.
Double down on Megan Bain. Interesting. I'm going to my official bet
With asterisk?
Camille.
What?
I think Camille makes her return. I think Camille wins it. That's my prediction. And then we get Camille versus. Well, I don't want to get ahead, but I think it sets up for a rematch.
Oh yeah, Camille versus Tony Storm. Yeah.
Yeah, so the one we've been asking for.
Hot take.
So I go there. Men's casino gauntlet. Who do you got?
Are they still doing the field? I gotta remember who's in that one.
I
mean, we've been kind of led to believe is Briscoe, right? But like,
as of now, the only two people that I think are for sure are MJF and Briscoe. But I know Anthony Bowens has talked like he's in it, but he doesn't. He doesn't. I don't know what his number is, but he was talking like he's in it, but he's not going to be number 1 or 2. So just have some fun. Throw a dart at the board. Let's see what you get.
well, I should say Anthony Bowens because he, like me, is a Valley boy. New season out now on social media channels. The 5-2 player. But no, I'm gonna go with the obvious because, you know, MJF, man, you need something to fight. So I'm gonna be as painfully boring as possible and say MJF.
I agree. I think MJF getting the win here. A lot of people are torn on that. In the chat and in the comments, let me know what you think about that. Because a lot of people feel like MJF needs to be in that world championship spot. I feel like that just gets repetitive to where we were in the past. And I think I'd like to see him tell some more stories outside of it. I'm going to go with another return. I'm going to go with Darby Allin makes his return and he wins the Casino Battle Royal.
See, that's like impossible for me to determine whether that's going to happen or not, because how often do you need to, or how much time do you need to recover after climbing Mount Everest? It's like a week.
He was
2
hit by a
months?
bus and wrestled like 3 minutes later. I'm sure
That bus was gimmicked. I'm talking about the actual mountain.
You want to know how long it takes him to wrestle a match after climbing Mount Everest? How long does it take to fall after coffin dropping off the top? Because that's probably what he would have done if they booked him.
If he coffin dropped off of Everest, I could see the Red Bull sponsorships.
He'd be a legend. And if he landed on a limo and it blew up, oh my God! I'm like, this is the greatest thing in pro wrestling history. Let's go.
No headlocks, just explosions and deep dives. What is going on?
When he lands on it, it blows up. It doesn't just
That's not even defy the law of physics.
Oh my God! And like fireworks are going up. Oh my goodness!
Who's getting over? The fans.
And a giant flag drops behind it.
You will run any promotion to the ground.
Dylan says Mystico is also confirmed. He says not to quote him, but I will say Dylan says, and I quote, Mystico is also confirmed for the Battle Royal. End quote. That isn't actually a quote. But so let us know who let us know who you think is going to win that one. I guess it's how do you feel about the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal? I love it. I think it's absolutely a blast.
I do like it. I'm not sure if I like it this weekend necessarily because I don't know. I figured if you're AEW and you want to make sure it's the biggest promotion, you want to make sure it's the most straight up wrestling thing and have more traditional matches, fine. But as a concept, hey, look, it's you, it's unique. People know you of it. It's your king of the mountain. Why not ride it till it gets totally annoying or boring?
I would have liked some more promos and things building up, like how I got to get in that and I got to win it. I got to find a way to make this work. I got to find a way to stay in it. It actually kind of a fun gimmick if someone ran down maybe earlier than they were supposed to break up pins so that the match continued long enough for them to get into it. Because that's the fun difference is if you have the number 30 pick, you probably aren't going to make it into the match. It's going to end before you get the chance to be in there.
Right. And it's also something that would be served about having, I don't say general manager, but a commissioner, right? Saying you can't do that or you get fined or there should be some sort of like consequence for doing that. Or else you're right. It could be the inmates running the asylum.
Yeah. Speaking of Lance Storm. If I can be serious for a minute, Lance Storm in the Casino Gauntlet, winning it, and then going on to become the AEW champion, I think would turn the tides against the WWE.
Lance Storm is so Canadian. He would not show up Goldberg on his retirement match day. He's like, can I do it tomorrow? Sorry. Sorry.
If Lance Storm was there, he'd probably beat Goldberg. That's why Gunther's like, please don't bring him in.
That is a lie, and you know it.
Well, speaking of two greats, Okada, Omega, they go at it one more time. Winner takes all, Continental, International for the Unified Championship. Something funny about the video package today is Kenny Omega had a line where he's like, I always knew that this would happen one day, like happen again one day. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, because it's happened like 4 times already. You have matches fairly regularly. It's pretty assumed. Like it's not that crazy that it's like Chad Gable saying, Penta, I always knew that we'd have a match someday. Well, yeah, you probably will. It's probably going to happen.
Throw my back out. Oh, I always knew this would happen again. It's only a matter of time.
Every time my knees crack when I sit down.
Oh my gosh. I'm at the age now where like I'm afraid to do wall sits and squats. It's like, I don't know, man. I'll try. My knees.
I don't have fear of it because there's no way I would do it.
Yeah, well,
when
you get to be my age, Jack, it becomes worse.
It's like saying I'm scared to be in a shark tank with sharks around. Well, I'm never going to be in a shark tank with sharks around, so it's not a fear of mine.
Would you rather do a shark tank or bend your knees?
I'll take the
crack.
I'll take it's a pass.
Fair enough.
What's it when it's even odds?
Even money.
Even money. It's even money.
Yeah.
Okada Omega.
Look, these guys closed the Tokyo Dome almost 10 years ago, but that's the problem, right? Even though I'm about it, in the year we've seen one last time matchups like Punk and Cena and Orton and Cena, give me this one more time, especially, and not to make it sound weird, we don't know how many years Kenny Omega has with his body and how it's working out. At the same time, I do feel like, and maybe just me being cynical, this was like a big red button that was pressed for All In, but the actual hype for this one does not equal the previous encounters. So like on that level, like I would like it. I'm tuning in. I feel it would be a challenge to get someone else to be hyped up for this match.
Yeah, it is kind of leaning pretty heavy into we know who they are, and that should be great. Kind of wish they built it up a little bit more. It'll be great. As Dylan says, Okada and Omega is worth the price of the ticket. I think it's going to be a fantastic match. I got a feeling that these guys are both going to really try to top what they've done in the past, one way or the other. We'll see if they can. But I think they're going to really pull out all the stops. I think Omega walks away with the championship. It feels like Okada's been the champion for some time, and I think that one needs a change of pace, and I think we get that with Kenny Omega. What say you?
I'm with you, but that just raises a question about the unification process. Does a Continental Classic get a new championship, or is that just something you have to kick down the line until this fall? Because I feel like Okada keeping it makes sense because he won that through the Continental Classic, mythology. But I feel like if Omega got that, does he qualify for that, or am I sticking way too ahead?
I think My prediction is that what will happen is that the championship aspect of the Continental Classic goes away. And it'll probably become a winner gets a world title shot kind of thing, or gets a
Hmm.
unified championship shot, something like that. I don't think it'll be a championship anymore. Kind of like the Owen is no longer like you don't get a championship for that anymore.
Hmm.
Um, is my prediction. So
Lame.
um,
What about the Dynamite Ring? Does that have any other qualifying matches? I just feel like once a year they're like, "Hey, MJF, want to wrestle?" And that's it.
I think yeah, I think that when they realize that it's always going to be MJF that has it, they're like, well, we don't really need to do this anymore, do we?
Yeah.
Uh,
Or remember like
Danny,
the women's tag team medals? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
oh my God, that's right. You should do for the show, I'll have you do the research and all the work for it. You
What?
should power rank the top 10 forgotten championships that people, and I'm not talking about like the European champion, I'm talking like the tag team medals and the
Right.
Dynamite ring and like the Memorial Andre the Giant Battle Royal trophy, all those different things that are no longer around. You should power rank the top 10 of those.
I was going to say the tournament, the battle royal is still around, but then again, Carmella has a neck chain instead of a trophy. So
Put
does
the
that?
neck chain in there, baby. Let's
What
do
the
this.
hell was that about? I went onto the giant. I'm like, okay, whatever.
That was a very 2019 creative decision.
Like Carmella's not even that guy. He's him. He isn't like, you know what I need? Jewelry.
Sure.
That
Of
is Trick Williams
a
behavior.
giant nether man's face.
Right. Chicks love that.
Yeah, you should do the work on that. Power rank those. But the one rule is no belts allowed. That's the thing. It's got to be non-belt
Oh,
champion like
wow.
things.
Yeah,
So the Heritage Cup should count in there.
sure.
Maybe
But
that King of
that's
the Ring trophy that Christian carried around for Edge for a while.
or the Crown Jewel championships, the giant
Yeah,
ones that we
yeah,
never saw again, or the Greatest Royal Rumble championship that Braun Strowman won.
yeah. I think that'd be fun. Danny C, by the way, says I really want Okada to win, but Jack has been correct on every pick to date. It's true. For those of you who remember, I have a perfect record, undefeated, never gotten a prediction wrong with a few asterisks. But yeah, perfect. So I should have started this with spoiler warning. We got to hurry up because this is taking too long. This is our fear before we started the show. John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page, Texas Death Match, AEW Championship. Gabe Kidd is back. Will it play a factor? And who's walking out with the championship?
It's gotta be Moxley, man. I like Adam Page. I hate his music now. I love the old one, but
How dare you say both those things?
I love the old one. When he was a face, like it felt like he was like a TV character come to life. This is like I'm so sad.
Oh,
It's like I'm sad.
no, it's
Not sad.
High
Sad.
Plains Drifter coming down with a pair
High
of six shooters.
He has an Xbox. That's not really what drifters do. Like,
Uh,
let's be real. Anyway, Mox is winning this one because I do think Mox needs to go down. I do think we need a new champion. I don't believe Hangman Page does it.
how I don't know. I understand that you're supposed to want the bad guy to lose, but I think that ship has got. I think the Death Riders ship has sailed. I think we're
It sailed
already
6 months ago, but they're
moved.
still rocking it.
That's he's got. Look, Hangman Adam Page has got to win this thing.
He doesn't have to win anything. Hey,
I
they're
am.
heels. You hate it. Mission accomplished.
I am. There's a difference between.
What difference is it? Tell me.
There is. I am over this. This isn't fun. It's like you can't have Thanos win every single match or every single movie and then have me still
No,
tune in.
because Wheeler Yuta taps out every 2 weeks just to make sure.
Oh,
Yeah, he helps you out.
Wheeler Yuta is the weakest of Thanos' kids. I can't remember what their names are. I only remember Ebony Maw's name. Everyone else
Right. You all killed Thanos. Now listen, I'm just saying, look, they're heels, so you're supposed to be sick of them. But I don't, and I know All In's the big show. Yeah, but I don't think Adam Page is the one to do it. I just don't see it. Well,
yeah, I actually did more of a Gallus noise there, but
same voice. Yeah, we're talking about
same guy. There's a guy who's like rich living in Palos Verdes right now. Who's like, yeah, I just do all the.
how many California towns are going to shout out in the Riverside, Cucamonga?
Every now and again, WWE calls me like, hey, we need you to do a hey.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's a weird show.
Hangman Adam Page has got to win. He's got to win. He's got to. He's got to. Like I have no interest in watching him continue to parade around with the luggage, and I don't know where else this story can go. It's just not interesting to me anymore. Wow. Let's go on to what is listed as the main event on Wikipedia. So accurate. Really about as accurate as you're going to get in professional wrestling news. But Timeless Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné AEW World Championship. I want your thoughts on this, but I want your thoughts on that spicy little promo we got today. How do you not like Timeless Tony Storm, Flobo?
I don't hate Timeless Tony Storm. I'm just not a fan of this iteration of the character. I like Tony Storm as a performer, but the Timeless stuff isn't for me. Now, I'm not knocking that. I think it's some of the best character work of her career. But if I was going to have a personal museum, I'd probably use like another era instead. That's all.
One? The one when she thought she was a rookie again?
No, I would totally use like the NXT UK version of Tony Storm.
Well, I'm never going to argue NXT UK. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I had all this stock on that time period. But no, to answer your question, kind of upset it's not a unification match. Kind of upset that both women's championships are on the line. Kind of upset it's not winner take all the 7 championships. Make it fun. But just the AEW women's championships, I do think Timeless Toni Storm should retain, but she does not retain. And that totally upends the women's apple cart.
Do you think it should main event?
Yes, because as much as I like the Okada Omega match, as much as I would buy a ticket for that, Mercedes Moné is still your biggest crossover star. It's still your biggest event of the year, and you're still being up against, at the time you're airing, a promotion, NXT, that's known for its women's division. You got to main event that.
I think Timeless Toni Storm is the most must-watch promo in wrestling right now.
Oh, yeah, moves out.
I think when she is on the microphone, you can't turn away. You got to listen to what she's going to say. So I agree with you. I think Mercedes wins. And like I said, I think Camille wins. And I think we get that matchup down the road. We are already well over time on here.
Let's rock and roll, man.
We got to start rocking.
Can we do the whole pleading thing for the whole? Hey, listen, 5 stars, man. Give it that 5-star review on that Apple and that Spotify. If you're watching live right now, super chats are enabled, and please share the show with some friends. We love doing Draped in Gold, but we are a very, very small, tiny speck. We want to get more guests on the show. We need your help to do that. So share the show with a friend. 5-star on Apple, 5-star on Spotify. You know the deal.
I was literally in conversations with someone very high up in the pro wrestling PR world about getting some big names on the show. And then when it came down to how many people are liking, commenting, and retweeting, they said, well, you got to get your game up, kid. So you guys got to help me out. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I will not say who it was because that wasn't an actual quote, but more or less. We need you to like, comment, share, subscribe.
That's usually how it happens.
Let's get to the let's do Evolution next.
Ooh, Evolution 2.
Evolution 2. Jade Cargill, Naomi, No Holds Barred. Who you got?
Here's a problem with Evolution 2. People were saying the build is also wonky. I'm inclined to agree, but the ladies will show out. Naomi and Jade have been going at it for months. Jade should get her pounds of flesh, but I worry after this month feud that the most average wrestling fans are siding with Naomi. She was undervalued. She was overlooked, and Jade definitely had an easier path, quote unquote, to being a champion with Bianca. Got to give her Naomi this weekend.
I am shocked you say that. I think Jade Cargill, coming off of a Queen of the Ring win and looking to move on to a championship opportunity, can't take a loss right before that. I go Jade Cargill here.
But here's the question, though. If Naomi pins Jade this weekend, doesn't Naomi have a claim to be that third participant at SummerSlam? Would you buy into that?
She already does. She's got the briefcase.
No. The briefcase is something separate. But, I mean, that's the story I would do.
So she would... I feel like that's redundant. She's already got an opportunity, though.
No, I'm saying she beats Jade, and then she goes, hey, look, Jade, you don't even deserve to be at SummerSlam. I should be at SummerSlam. And she has the Money in the Bank briefcase as an insurance policy, have she's not win that match.
I think that's repetitive. I'd say have her lose to Jade Cargill. Then Jade Cargill has that match. Naomi cashes in, and it's as a bad guy the person that has beaten her soundly twice just lost an opportunity to her, and everyone's like, "Boo, you didn't win it the right way," blah blah blah. And she's like, "Yeah, but when you proceeded, it was lackadaisical and not very cautious."
Fair. Well, once you put the gimmick in there, I can't argue with that.
I want to give a shout out to A Plus LA rolling through. Always good to see you, A Plus. Speaking of championships, Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria, triple threat matchup. I want your thoughts on the build of this one and this one, because I know Bayley is one of your goats. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on the build of this, and because it was wonky coming at it like into WrestleMania, and here I think a lot of people were kind of thrown off a bit. But what's your take?
This is my King of the Ring in 1999, where if you remember, we mentioned this 2 weeks ago on the show, where Billy Gunn won the King of the Ring, and they put him with The Rock that summer to see if they could show improve. Lyra Valkyria was amazing at NXT UK. I think she hasn't quite clicked with the fans on the main roster. There's think pieces out there saying she has and hasn't, but she's in a match for a prestigious name in the Intercontinental title. I say quotes because it's fairly new, against both Bayley and Becky. Now's the time to show improve. If she does not walk out of this match being the talk of the town, this could be critical for her. So its story is really about Lyra. But that said, Bayley is good for a reason. She makes everyone look good. So I think the stage is set here.
I think that the stage is set for Lyra to win.
The stage is set for Lyra to win, but Bayley has to make her look good.
Looking at this, I feel like Becky is the smart money pick, just because betting on Becky, I would say like betting on Tom Brady. You're probably safe if you always bet on Tom Brady. Probably always safe to bet on Becky Lynch. Also, she just won the championship, so it feels weird to have her lose this quickly. I'm going to I'm going to pick with my gut. My heart is Lyra Valkyria because I'm a big Lyra Valkyria fan.
Crazy.
But Bayley, I feel like when she got interjected into this, especially this week's promo, I felt like Bayley brought life to this battle, and so I'm going Bayley here.
Wow, I don't think Bayley for a change.
I don't think I'm right, but that's just where my gut goes. I feel like if I was the one watching that, if I was watching that promo, I'd be like, Bayley's the one firing this up.
I don't like this particular story. And the match is gonna be great, but I don't like the story of like, we're friends for 2 weeks, but not anymore. It's like I don't feel that at all. Like
number one contenders battle royal. Participants TBA, Pierce and Nick Aldis announced the Battle Royal. Winner will earn a shot at Clash at Paris. Speaking of not knowing who's in it.
Yeah, I think there's like four or five, or six NXT women in that match. They were announced this week. So I got to go with Jada Parker because she was announced. But I'm not sure who she's going up against, You
don't ever bet against Jada Parker. Isn't Bella in it as well, and isn't Trish Stratus in it as well?
No, Stratus has a match against Tiffany Stratton that night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right.
That's right. Double duty. This is the mid '90s WWE where there was no one in the roster, and guys had like the Royal Rumble match and the match the same night.
Yeah. There's a great World War III. I know I'm the only person that watched World War III, where Jericho is the Royal Rumble of WCW, for people who don't know. Jericho had a match right before that, and when he walked out, he's walking out like going, holding his ribs.
Yeah, it's like you got to sell it, baby. You only have 20 people in the building. Go out there.
But he did it in the over the top Jericho way. It was always funny to me. Jada Parker's as good a pick as any. I'm going to go Jada Parker. I think she needs to get heated back up again because it felt like she was very hot for a while and now has become sort of the punching bag of the upper card.
Right. A lot of the characters she has a very similar character to a lot of women right now. So here's a chance for her to like do a small refresh, find out what the new Jada Parker is.
Yeah. Women's tag team championships, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez look to defend against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, and a TBA Raw tag team and a TBA NXT tag team as of whoever wrote this card for me. But that said, are we getting the Kabuki Warriors returning? And if so, how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 4?
Yeah. Oh, because 4, okay. 4, I guess. Kabuki Warriors were confirmed as far as Wikipedia is concerned, and the NXT tag team is Zari and Sol Ruka. I would love to do Zarya and Soruka, but Sol already has 2 championships as it is, and that just seems like way too much. We already got one of those women doing that. So I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Charlotte's somebody that has some new groundswell support. Alexa Bliss is always a crowd favorite. I do think they can help each other out. Charlotte with her injury, Alexa with her ceiling, I guess. I think they should walk away with tag team championships.
Terrence with a great choice says, I'm going with Stephanie Vaquer. I feel like I don't want them to push the button too quick with her, because I think once you get put in that championship spot, then anything less feels less. And you got time with her.
I'm torn because I feel like, yeah, I'm with you because you see what's happening with Julia. Like, he comes out to a cold response, but at the same time, seeing how both LA Knight and Karrion Kross, or even Jey Uso, felt like it was too late in their swell. I don't know. I mean, I would pull the trigger. Why not?
Danny C asks, Jack has riders. Yeah, I have. I mean, I don't do any of this myself. The hair. I mean, I have the writers. I have my producer right over here. You're not going to. I'm not going to name you. No.
Can I get a producer?
You don't get any credit. No, this isn't the end of WWE Raw where we put the names of the producers on the podcast.
Yeah, who the hell is Lee Fitting? Can someone tell me? Does he wrestle? What's his finisher? Who did he ever beat?
Yeah, I'm going Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair just because they have a story, and that is as good enough reason as any. I see where that's. And Roxanne seems like she's kind of going to end up messing up a lot of the Judgment Day, so I think that's going. JC Jane versus Jordan Grace, NXT Women's Championship. Flobo, I'm curious about your thoughts on this one, because I feel like both of them are in a situation where they shouldn't lose.
I think JC Jane, as much as I appreciate her, I think she's a good champion, is definitely transitional. 75K looked like she was going to be a long-term choice, and it was abruptly ended. This title run didn't seem like it was natural. I'm not saying she's not capable of being champion, but it felt like, here you go, hot potato. So I got to go with Jordan Grace. You sign her as a hot free agent. She got close to her 3 or 4 times, challenged for that title, never got it. She has to win this weekend at Evolution.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. Jordan Grace, she's had a few shots at it too. If she misses again, then she's definitely falling into that, what do we call it, the Dolph Ziggler spot. Where
Braun Strowman.
It's
Jordan Grace.
Yeah. I used to say in the old days it was Kane was my go-to for that. Scary, but it never really gets the job done. Where JC Jane, I feel bad for her because I feel like she's done everything right. And I think there's something about her being the champion that works because everyone doubts her, but she's also the bad guy. So you're supposed to think she's not good enough to be the champion. But I agree. I think I have a feeling that Jordan Grace is going to get the win. I just hope that JC Jane has a lot more success after this.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus. So you're going to get enough pink, Flobo.
I might get enough legends.
If you are
Well, okay. I wanted more legends on the show, but Trish Stratus is the legend. Here is somebody that was shocked the world. She got the dub because you're bringing back Trish for these kind of events. I don't think she's won a title in 2 years? 2 years now?
It's been Make
it happen.
You want to see him pull the trigger?
Why not? You know what? I've been neutral on Tiffany Stratton for a long time, but you have Trish Stratus who still can go, who is definitely someone that can upset that apple cart on SmackDown. He's somebody can really go on a short run, almost like a John Cena thing for that generation. Why not?
I like it. I want to talk to you. We didn't put this in the notes, but Charlotte Flair.
We have notes?
I have notes. I have writers and producers. And this lighting guy that can't get his stuff straight.
Everyone's fired.
I look blown out. I'm shiny. Makeup.
Lordy.
God, I sat in that chair for 3 hours and I'm shiny. I make my makeup person watch.
Oh yeah, I suppose. No, you stay. You stay.
You stay. Where are you going?
Last night.
I gotta pick up my kids. Sit down. Your kid can wait with all the other parentless children.
It's draped.
Yes. But no, so Charlotte Flair recently had an interview and she's talking about how difficult it was to hear Tiffany Stratton say some things about her in a promo we saw on SmackDown. I believe it's SmackDown.
It was.
We all saw it. Everyone cheered. Tiffany Stratton's been very popular. It seems like ever since this interview came out, it's weird. The world suddenly flipped on Tiffany Stratton, and I'm curious what your kind of thoughts. I don't necessarily think we need to dive into what she talked about because we all it was the 3 times divorced thing.
Yeah. Oh, and 3 marriages.
Or 0-3 for marriages. It's just I'm curious about what that says about the viewers or the connection to Tiffany Stratton that everyone's kind of flipped on. I'm still a Tiffany. By the way, I was always a Tiffany Stratton fan, still am. But
yeah, and I was pretty much neutral in Tiffany. I'm like less than neutral. So
I'm just curious what your thoughts are on the flip that happened there.
So I remember listening to, and I don't really usually listen to him, so don't judge me. But YouTube a couple of years ago, YouTube algorithm had recommended a clip from Jim Cornette, who was talking about the match between Ilya Dragunov and Gunther 2, the one on NXT, and he said that. I know Jim Cornette's not necessarily a good source, but he was saying when a match is that brutal, there's usually an agreement between both men that they're going to hit hard, and they're doing that in tandem. Like you're not trying to hurt your opponent, but you're trying to really show the kind of battle you have. Shame's very much the same. So when Tiffany made that 0-3, it was out of character, but if Charlotte was in on it, it'd have been like, okay, yeah, it's kind of a cool way to get the whole realism peek behind the curtain. It was great. I think because the context of women athletes and mental health and Charlotte specifically dealing with this, I became a wrestler to honor my slain brother. At the same time, I am still trying to be my own woman with my own desires and thoughts. It really was like this person who was a rookie kind of came at someone personally, and she had to struggle with that. So I think the flip happened of the rationale of Charlotte being blindsided, and it was like, oh, do you guys really hate me? Like, I was like, no, we were cheering because it was wrestling. And it was like, that kind of made us feel bad, so we shift that to somebody else.
Because you can't, it's thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be stored and transferred. So you learned something on Draped in Gold today. But so you can't destroy the hate. Yeah, we hated Charlotte, but we had to transfer it to something else. And store it on. So that is
almost like heat.
Almost like heat.
Man.
If only there were a wrestling term.
If only.
But like, it's weird because when that first happened, everyone was like, oh, Tiffany got her. Haha, great line. But now to hate her for it after the fact, when we all saw it and we all heard it, it's not like it's new information. I don't know. I guess it's weird to me because I feel like if someone we love, like if Roman Reigns did something like that, a lot of people love Roman Reigns. I don't think they would suddenly hate Roman Reigns. And I don't think that they would suddenly hate Cody Rhodes or even like a Becky Lynch or a lot of characters like that. So it's interesting that love suddenly fractured over something. I just find it very interesting to either what that connection is or us as fans.
A lot of things were brewing about Tiffany. Especially, granted, you and I have different wrestling algorithms. By the way, I think Reed Flair, I think he like death by suicide. He wasn't slain. I'm sorry about that. But like, I think that there was like some things brewing about Tiffany in the IWC about her beliefs or something she did in some of the fans and something she said in the crowd sometimes. But it was kind of like a rumor. But this was an objective. Hey, a talent we know from 5 years ago. Some of our childhoods, not us, but some of our childhoods, feeling hurt legitimately by this person who's a newcomer. Then it was kind of like, oh, that's our family. How dare you?
Fair enough. We got to get to the World Championship match. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. This one feels like it could be a WrestleMania main event. We're getting an Evolution 2. Who you got?
Rhea Ripley's never beat Io Sky 1-on-1. I don't think it happens this week. Io is too new with that championship. Rhea has been on top of the mountaintop a bit too much right now. She really needs something to do. Maybe become a level 2 gatekeeper. I got Io winning this one.
I'd like to see Io Sky win this one too. I agree with you. I think Rhea Ripley, sort of like MJF in that regard, needs to show that she can have rivalries and things that are not just I'm the champion, I'm the best. She's got to find ways to, or Dominic. Yeah, she's got to find something that she can be on her own. And I would like to see anyways, because I know she can. I think I want to see that for a little bit. So when she does get that shot again, it feels like, ooh, this is cool. Kind of like a Randy Orton. He doesn't get shots that often. And so when he did, against John Cena, it was like, oh, this is a big deal. This is cool. Talk to me a little bit about that's the Evolution card. Before we move on, I know we're super past our time right now. What are your thoughts on the build to Evolution 2?
It's hard, man. I know for years it was like, oh, we have so many good women. We don't need a wrestling PLE. I disagreed. And they were like, here's a wrestling PLE for you right here. It was very, very quick. On paper, it's not strong, right? Because a lot of characters are very, very new. How do you explain who JC Jane is? How do you explain who Jade Cargill was because she was so inconsistent on television? But I know it's going to be good. And I think, and it's to be said about WWE, they're strong enough as a brand to get away with this, but the question remains, how long? Can you just say, hey, man, we're coming to San Diego in a month, buy your tickets, $10,000, because you'll go and you have a good time, but it really comes to a point where it's like, what are you doing? So I know there's some discourse saying that, oh, man, they really betrayed the women here. I don't think so, but I do think it was a missed opportunity to really make this bigger than what it was.
I think what hurts them, too, is they just had a show 2 weeks ago. Now they're coming into this where they have 3 shows happening as far as like weekend big shows. And then they're going to have to moving right along to their next one right after that. And so I think that they are kind of getting into a overexposure situation where it's hard to book. I mean, some of these shows, you're trying to book 2 PLEs for some of these, NXT is trying to book 2 PLEs on the same weekend,
Yeah.
Which I guess they just did with Money in the Bank as well in a lot of ways. And so, yeah, I agree. I think they're spreading themselves a little thin here, and we'll get to that when we get to the Saturday Night Main Event card, which only has 3 matches so far. But I want to really quick run through Great American Bash. Javon Evans, Jasper Troy.
I like them both, man. I think Mr. Troy will have a good future, but I just can't stand a guy being named Jasper. Young OG, man. Until he stopped being bouncy, I'm picking bouncy all day.
How old can Javon Evans be before he has to stop calling himself the young OG?
Hey, if Roxanne could be a prodigy for the past 5 years, it could be indefinite.
So when he's like 59 years old, he'll be like, I'm the young OG.
If he's still bouncing, why not? No, his first heel turn, basically.
He ain't bouncing after 50, let me tell you.
We talked about knees in this show, guys.
This is the knee program. All we talk about is knees and joints.
And thighs.
We got to get Sally Field to come on and talk about fibromyalgia for us.
There are deep cuts and there's like obscure cuts. That is. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to go Javon Evans. Javon Evans is going to be a future Hall of Famer. So I think Young Buck is their last name.
Stop. It's Nicholas Youngbuck.
Nicholas Youngbuck.
Yeah, and Papa Buck Youngbuck.
Javon Evans is going to be future Hall of Famer. Jasper Troy could get there possibly as well, but I don't think Javon Evans feels like he's been on a downslide for a while now, and I think he needs to bounce back. And Jasper Troy, someone I think is a perfect person for him to bounce back against. Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, Falls Count Anywhere, NXT North American Championship. 2 of my favorites on NXT right now, Flobo, but which one's walking away with gold?
Yeah, this is the match I'm paying my not a mission for. Ethan Page has really been the anchor of NXT. That's the guy I would buy his merch. And Ricky Saints, man, this theme song has grown on me. I kind of like it. Ricky Saints exactly. I love it. Ricky Saints should win this one, but I want the era of ego to put some stability on that North American Championship. So I have Ethan Page win this weekend.
I see big opportunities for Ricky Saints down the line, and I think that means he's got to take a pass on this one. Ethan Page gets the win as well. I think he's going to hold that championship for a very long time, Ethan Page. NXT Women's North America Championship, Sol Ruka versus Izzy Dame. Of course, Zarya and Tatum Paxley at ringside.
I like Sol Ruka. She has really been one of the more spectacular people to watch, but the numbers game, you know how it goes. Culling her at ringside, 2 female talents where they beat up Sol. I don't know, man. Izzy Dame needs some gold to make the Cullen work. I think it starts there.
I go Izzy Dame because I am a Tatum Paxley fan, have been longer than anybody else. And I stick by the people I pick. I really have.
You have. Plant your flag.
I've supported her from the beginning. She's on Team Colleen. I'm on Team Colleen. Let's go, Izzy Dame. She's going to get the win. Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe team up to take on Fatal Influence, JC Jane, and Fallon Henley. But before we talk about that, Flobo, Makeover. Has there
Oh
ever been a wrestling makeover segment that wasn't incredible?
I wasn't a fan of the one that Ariana Grace did to Gigi Dolan, but you
That
love
was
that one.
so good. Come on.
Shut up. I hated it. I think it was dumb.
You know what the best wrestling segment would be? Is if we
no.
got a car and we made it up, get Exhibit on the program, and let's do Pimp My Rides. In fact, forget about the wrestling. Let's just watch Pimp My Ride.
Do kids even know what Pimp My Ride is? Before this ridiculousness for 12 hours a day, a show called Pimp My Ride.
They should Pimp My Ride and then just blow up the car at the end. Oh my goodness, Flobo, that'd be the greatest television in the world.
And some producer's like, that's great. How much money? Sign me up. We're going to blow up the car every week.
Every episode ends with Darby Allin jumping off of something and landing on the car, and it explodes with fireworks.
Burning cash, man. Hate it.
But how good is Fiber Match?
0 stars.
How good is what?
Why is that on the tip of your tongue?
Because I was about to make a joke after the Darby Allin lands and explodes. Sally Field comes on and goes, "If you're suffering from fibromyalgia."
How is fibromyalgia? It is not great. What was the real question?
Okay, Jamie Lee Curtis and Activia.
Activia. No, what's the question, damn it?
Who would you rather give you a makeover, Blake Monroe or Ariana Grace?
I guess Ariana Grace, man. She's royalty, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and she's gonna help teach you about like grace and dignity and all the cotillion things you need to know.
And the race walk.
Yeah. So who's winning this matchup?
Who cares at this point? We got fibromyalgia in the court. No, Phil Influence has to win this one, man. I love Jordan Grace. I love Blake Monroe. But the thing is, with your girl JC losing the title at Evolution, they have to get one. I do think it's going to be a cheat to win situation.
I think not only that, but I think this is where Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe go their separate ways. I think things do not end well for them in this tag team matchup. Obafemi versus the MVP of NXT, Yoshiki Uemura. Josh Briggs on the outside, NXT Championship on the line. Yoshiki, you're my boy. You better win this one. But Flobo, what do you say?
Talk about stealing the show. We all love Yoshiki Uemura. Will he win? No, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. This could be one of those situations where Obafemi can prove they can carry that belt with class by taking down competitors from all over the world. Does that make the NXT title the world title? I'm not so sure, but Obafemi retains.
Not only does Obafemi retain, because I never bet against Obafemi, let's hope that he doesn't face Jada Parker, because I have no idea who I would pick in that situation.
Miss Parker, what?
Miss Parker, Miss Parker. I think not only is Obafemi going to win, but I think Josh Briggs is going to cost Yoshiki, and I think that that team is going to split up there.
You think that we're going to get the return of Briggs and Jensen?
I don't know about that, but I think Briggs was acting a little bit like a jerk during that last promo with Obafemi. I got a feeling that he's going to switch to the other side of the tracks.
I got you. You're a Brooks Jensen hater. I love it.
I love Brooks Jensen.
You don't ever bring him up. I always do. I'm just saying. If you don't like him,
I don't know where he's been.
I'm just saying he's by himself. Josh Briggs is a man of mayhem. I mean, look, 2 years ago, I thought Josh Briggs was going to be the guy in the mid card, like alongside Dijak. Remember him? But it didn't seem to be the case. But it could be that Briggs could be a tag team guy indefinitely.
Well, Briggs is never going to be the next Dijak because he's smart enough to not bring justice to the parking lot, the land of the lawless.
He did do that. Let's talk about the parking lot, man. Does that ever get cleaned up?
There was a time a few episodes ago, Blake Monroe showed up and there was like sirens in the back, like police in the background. I don't know if you.
It is Orlando.
Yeah. But I thought, go figure. Anyways, we need to talk a little bit about Saturday night's main event. And this one really, I got a feeling there's certain matches I got a feeling will be added to this one. But Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Braun Breaker, I want to talk about real quick. Kind of teasing that the whole show is about him. do you think that there is trouble in paradise for Seth Rollins' group? And do you think he's going to walk away with a win against LA Knight?
Short answer, no. I do think this is going to be the things in the days of the Attitude Era. They would like tease that for months on the live event circuit, but you want to put some color, some dense, some kind of like layers of storytelling between the both Bronze and Seth. So I don't think it's going to be like next month. I do think it's going to be something like 3 years ago. I said it was all about me. I think it's fine.
I want to ask you this too. This group, how important is it for it to have a name? Because right now it's bugging me that they don't have a name.
Why? It doesn't matter. They're a bunch of guys.
To refer to them, I don't want to say Seth Rollins' group. That's not fun to say. Like they need to call themselves like, I don't know, the architecture or something.
Okay, that's terrible. 1, 2, and you're upset because and you hate it because of nomenclature? Is that what it is? It's like, there's no branding in this group, guys.
I want branding. I want to. So you can buy. You want to buy a shirt. You know, maybe they call themselves the Ashes because he burns it all down. I don't know.
That's going to come eventually. You're going to hear like the trademark has been filed for the architecture next week. And like, aha!
Come on, the architecture would be a pretty terrible name.
It would be pretty awful.
And it'd be very hard. It'd be very hard to trademark as well.
What would you call them then?
The No Good Nicks.
Wow, that sounds nothing like them at all.
I just they gotta have a name. You gotta be able to call them something. They're already teasing a breakup and they don't even have a name yet.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like when two Hollywood stars get together, the first thing you do is you come up with a couple's name for them. If they break up before the couple's name happened, you can't say Benifer is breaking up. Or
look, Bill Murray was dating Khalees for years, and there was never a name. It was just Bill Murray and Khalees.
Good for Bill Murray.
That's not the point, Jack. You don't.
You call and I called him Belize.
That's a country, and no one called him that. I'm just saying, man. What would you call him then? You had a chance. No, I mean not the no. Okay, you got Braun, you got Braun. You got Braun, you got Paul, you got Seth. Probably one more person is going to be in the group, right? Like, would you do something general like Final Testament, or would you call it Seth's Boys?
I'm not good at coming up with these names. You just got to have something like I don't know. Like I said, I call them. I don't know, but watch. They're going to come out and be like, "You can call us Seth Rollins Group." No.
No, it's gonna be something dumb like how Evolution started. Evolution became cool, but it was like Evolution will pass you by. You're like, that's not possible with Triple H. Evolution takes over thousands of okay, and then it just sticks. You know what I mean?
Actually, Evolution.
Yeah, actually can't pass you by. It happens while I'm living.
We will all be dead before it reaches the next stages of Evolution. Danny C with the most hated name I could ever think of. Ranchers.
Leave ranchers alone. They're America's heart.
No, farmers are America's lungs, heart, backbone, and gut and brains.
Right. But
ranchers are America's bunions.
Oh no. Sorry, Jack Rancher. I'm just saying. They're good people too. Anyway.
The bunions.
I don't mind they don't have a name, is my point.
Ranchers are the smell after they take off their cowboy boots.
You're saying this during Canadian Stampede? Oh my goodness.
Farmers all day, baby. It's
farmers drink.
Speaking of the backbone of America, Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre.
Seth is in action. Forget that.
Oh,
Seth Rollins has a match.
Yeah, we talked. I mentioned that, but then I buried the lead. Who's winning, Seth Rollins or LA Knight?
Man, I hate this. Talk about people who need to win. LA needs to win badly, but it does not look good for him at all. Even though the line starts with him. Yeah, but maybe CM Punk gets involved. So,
I think he has to.
Yeah, my money's on Seth Rollins.
Say it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, my money's on Seth Rollins, though. But LA Knight should win this one.
I could see CM Punk trying to cost Seth Rollins, but it backfiring, costing LA Knight, and that leading to LA Knight versus CM Punk because they teased that a little bit.
True. Absolutely that.
And plus, I just want to see CM Punk trying to cut some very intelligent promo and LA Knight just saying, yeah, over the top of it.
I just don't understand why the hate of Punk has
You
become so
dumb ninny.
widespread. Dummy.
You
Dummy button.
Dummy button.
It's not an insult, it's a fact of life. That's classic Sean Ricker right there.
Oh my goodness. I will be cracking up the whole time. I'm gonna be going nuts for it. Danny gets it. CM Punk. Boo.
Why are we booing Punk? He's a legend. He's a living legend.
Boo. Boo.
The hate's real.
Anyways, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. Who has the better thighs? Go.
Oh, wow. What a loaded question. I think Randy Orton's in the categories of his own, but if there's anyone to give him room for his money, it'd be Drew. Randy Orton, bigger thighs, better thighs, and gets the dub this weekend.
Yeah, Randy Orton, because he keeps them clean shaven. So Randy Orton, better thighs.
That is bias, sir. Listen, body hair is natural.
It's
I mean, I hate it too. I'm just saying that it's very messed up.
Look, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you're going to represent the thigh guys, and you got to keep it clean, like any bodybuilder would do. So I go Randy Orton, and listen, when you win the thigh guy contest, you win the match. Randy Orton.
I didn't know the rules. I'm sorry.
The 3 most dangerous words in the business: thigh guy club. Yeah.
How do you get in the? Okay, don't tell me. I don't want
to know. Before we get into the main event, which we all know the answer to, Fraxium lost to Andrade and Rey Fenix. What the heck is up with that?
I'm cool with that. Again, I never liked Fraxium as a unit. I'm a big fan of Axiom, like the whole Masked Man from Madrid. And you put Rey Fenix, who was a hot free agent signing, against Andrade, who was before him a hot free agent signing. It gives him something to do. SmackDown's tag division needs some new blood. It works for everybody, except for Nathan Frazier.
How dare you? Gunther versus Goldberg, World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Flobo boys, who's going to win? And let's say it together. Goldberg, Goldberg. Da, na, 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 na,
I quit.
Na, na, na,
that's Gilbert's theme.
Da, da, da.
Hot take, even though he doesn't have a title, this retirement match should have been Goldberg versus Karrion Kross. And I'm not even the biggest Karrion Kross fan. But, well. Why I'm not a fan?
No, why should it be against Karrion Kross?
Because on paper, if wrestling was a dramatic art form, you have Goldberg who goes through people, and he's kind of a machine, against someone who's his size, but it's more psychological. So you can play with Goldberg's ego of saying, you can't beat me. What we got instead, the match is going to slap. Literally. But Gunther's being like, I'm better than you. And I just go, Gunther, when you were Walter, you were like dangerous and scary and slightly chubby. But now you're just a guy who's a jerk. I'm not sure. I've never been to Austria, but you can't be the most meanest guy there. Like, I don't believe it. So.
Goldberg's going to win.
He's not.
I literally put money on this one.
Why?
Literally put money on this one. Because it's easy money. It's free money.
There's no easy money in gambling.
Goldberg's going to win. He's going to get the championship, and then he'll lose it at SummerSlam, and that'll be his real last matchup. He's winning this matchup.
Did you bet the red check on this?
I bet the farm on this.
Oh, no, not the farm.
The whole farm.
You have to change your name if you lose it?
No, when I win, I am going to be Jack Farms, because I'm going to have multiple farms.
Farms? That's not even English. He's not winning.
He's absolutely winning, and it's going to be so great. He's not going to get beat by. He's not going to come back, have this incredible moment with his family there in front of his hometown, just to get out bullied by a guy who wants to bury the legend of Goldberg. That's not how he's coming back. He's going to win.
Gunther's not burying the legend. He's his favorite superstar. He told Bret Hart that. I'm just saying, when it comes down to Pete Gunther is almost anyone. If I was doing a Marvel vs. Capcom video game, Gunther, as it is right now, is so overpowerful. The only person I'll put next to him is maybe Obafemi, if I'm being legit. Mm-hmm. Goldberg has no chance. And Danny Denny has a bit of a story in there, which is pretty cool, but I can't think of any kind of possible ending besides the one Danny prescribed there that has Gunther losing.
Well, yeah, Danny says Goldberg wins, Seth cashes in. Listen, how about this? I'll pitch you this ending. Spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. Goldberg,
I've seen that one.
And then you're da 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 da, and he does this to the camera. Ah, who's next? And you're like, I don't know yet, but we'll find out.
Does he retire still, or does he keep going?
No, he loses. He loses it at SummerSlam.
But you can't advertise me a retirement match and say, I'm just kidding. He's at the Rolling Stones. You can't do that.
They said that it's his last match unless he wins.
That's crappy. You know it. This is the whole reason it's Saturday's main event built around this is this guy. It's the 40th edition. It has to be his last match. People who haven't seen wrestling in 20 years are tuning into this.
It's the 28th anniversary or something like that of him winning the championship on Monday Night Nitro. This is something that I think he's going to win. He's going to win. I bet money on it. I bet my undefeated prediction streak.
Just because you bet money on something doesn't mean it's true. That's what's called gambling, Jack.
No, he's going to win. He's going to win. And you know what I'm going to use the money I win it on?
What's that?
Anything but you, because you didn't believe in Goldberg.
Well, I was going to offer my couch when you lose your money, but not anymore, Jack.
Goldberg. There was a time when people doubted Goldberg. You know what he did? He won 173 times in a row.
That was almost 30 years ago.
Yeah. And you know what? Still right here. Still right here in my heart.
All right.
The greatest bald wrestler of all time who wears just black tights. That's right, Stone Cold. Pointing at you.
Wow.
Goldberg would run you over, pal.
And Gilbert?
And Gilbert.
Wow. Sorry, Tommy Invincible. Jack hates you. Anyway, don't bet on wrestling.
That is a good piece of advice. Don't bet on wrestling.
Don't be like Jack, guys.
Before we go, I did want to talk about two things. One is just really quick. My MVP of the week, by the way, goes to New Day for morning in the evening. Oh. Fantastic moment. I love that. But I have a question for you, and it's getting late, but I want to talk about it. Maybe let's do it next week. Maybe let's tease it for next week.
I don't know.
We're late. We're late in the show. We'll talk about it next week. It's a question about Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn.
You can't tease a question for entire because we're going to forget about it. People are going to be upset if we forgot about it.
I won't forget about it. I'll remember. I've never forgotten anything in my life.
That is not true at all. You forgot to vote for Gunther in that match.
No, well, I definitely got that right. But I have a question for you about Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn and about someone who is getting cheered that's not supposed to be getting cheered right now. We'll talk about that next week. We're over our time. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out and joining us. This was a great time. Leave your picks and predictions in the comments section. Flobo, before we go, where can the world find you online?
Well, your boy is over at the blackbaseballmixtape.com. The show In the Booth of Flobo Boys, where we talk about those who support the sport of baseball, is now on YouTube. Other than that, I'm at justhesandwich.com. That's my Substack. Please subscribe. I talk about sports. I talk about comedy. I talk about travel. Justhesandwich.com.
And you can find me at Real Jack Farmer across all social media. I also did some photo shoots for a new board game that's coming out. I just did that just today. That's why I'm so tired, because I woke up so early. So that'll be coming out soon. But also, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about it yet, but me and Raj are getting back together for a wrestling podcast starting next Monday.
The band is back together.
At least that's the last I heard. So we will be doing that. I will probably be tweeting out those socials shortly, or that information on that shortly. So stay tuned. Again, you can follow me at Real Jack Farmer for all that. That does it for us as I stall until I find the Draped in Gold new outro. And Flobo, send him home happy.
Do your best and try really hard.